Unmute thyself. Unmute thyself. Yeah. The Kings win in overtime. Yeah. The Kings fight off the pesky Grizzlies in the game that goes into overtime. The Kings are able to overtake the Grizzlies for a resounding win over the Memphis Grizzlies. Did you see that? Did you see how Keon Ellis had 4 blocks? That was big time. Kings were out there playing defense looking scrappy. Loved it. In Sacramento, the Kings were able to defeat the Memphis Grizzlies 121 to 111, bringing the Kings record to 39-26. That brings the Kings record to 39-28. The Memphis Grizzlies are currently 23-46. And with the victory, that brings the Kings record to 39-28. I just said that. The Kings are now in 6th place. They are a half game over the Mavericks and the Suns. Interesting to see that the Lakers are about 3 games behind us, Warriors about 4 games behind us, and the Pelicans are 2 games ahead of us. With that loss, the Grizzlies are in 13th place, and the Thunder are currently holding the #1 spot. Today is March 19th, 2024, and I appreciate you joining me. Y'all back? We back. Y'all back? We definitely back. And I have some interesting things to say about this Sacramento Kings team. Hopefully you're here for the whole video. And once again, thank you for joining me. And what's going on, YouTube? And what's going on with all my folks and all you Kings fans out there? It's your guy, Jay Woods, aka Shy the Man, and I'm back at you with another episode of the Kings Morning After Midday Cup of Joe with Jay.
I love it.
Nice and warm and strong. And you know what day it is. And you know what day it is. It's Tuesday.
What is it?
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, I got the cheese, she tasting the Kool-Aid. Migo the plug, Guadalupe.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday. Yeah. All right, guys, I got a quick one for you guys today. My cup of Joe for today. I'm feeling good about how the Kings played last night. Even though the Memphis Grizzlies outscored them in the 4th, and they were able to kind of come back a little bit on the Kings were able to come back in the end, tie the game, send it to overtime, and then they were able to at least close out in the overtime period. You kind of wanted to see the Kings play a little bit more defense in that 4th quarter, but like I said, in the end, they were able to tie it up, and they were able to close out the overtime period, which they outscored the Grizzlies by 10 points. So, my opinion, that should have been done in the 4th quarter. They shouldn't have let this team get back in the game, but we all know these young teams, these young scrappy teams, the Kings kind of have a hard time against at times defending them. But overall, the Kings did play good defense on the Grizzlies, and they played good enough offense to beat them in the end. And that's my cup of Joe. Black, 1 creamer. Quick stats. So honestly, it was kind of a back-to-back, back and forth game in the first half. By the half, the Kings were winning 47-57. 3rd quarter was kind of even, kind of back-to-back, back and forth. 4th quarter, the Grizzlies scored more than the Kings. In overtime, Kings took it. The Memphis Grizzlies' leading scorer was Jaren Jackson Jr. with 25. Desmond Bane also pitched in 24, and Gigi Jackson scored 22. Leading rebounder, John Conchar with 10. Jay LaRavia grabbed 8 rebounds and also had the most assists off the bench with 5. Kind of interesting stat. They did have 5 guys going to double figures, though. Jake LaRavia, getting 12 off the bench. And then for the Kings, leading scorer was our dog, Malik Monk. Second leading scorer was Domantas Sabonis, 25. De'Aaron Fox had 23. Keegan Murray with 15. Harrison Barnes with 11. Kevin Huerter with another 0 points on the night. He only played 2 minutes and got injured. He injured his shoulder. He got hacked really hard by muscle man steroid user. Oops, Desmond Bain. It as he was going up, and it probably dislocated his shoulder or something, took it out of place. So he was holding the shoulder instantly as soon as it happened, and he was out the game. So Keon Ellis got the bulk of his time with 34 minutes. He was able to score 5 points, and he grabbed 7 rebounds, which is big. And his big thing was his defense. He had 4 blocks on the night, blocking Desmond Bain at the basket at one point in an incredible play at the end of the game. Domantas Sabonis with 18 rebounds, continuing his double-double streak. I want to say it's at 50 at this point. The workman, Domantas Sabonis, out there holding us down with his work ethic. Keegan Murray pitched in with 10 rebounds, which is great. De'Aaron Fox had 7. De'Aaron Fox also had the most assists on the night with 10. Malik Monk had 6. He was out there playmaking at the end of the game like he always does. And even Alex Len got some time. He was out there dunking down low, which was good to see. Chris Duarte with 8 points off the bench, which is great. He was hitting the shots. It was great to see. Field goal percentages, 37 Grizzlies, 44% Kings. They didn't shoot very great on the night. 3-point percentage, 30, 31, and 34 for the Grizzlies. Free throws about the same, 80%. Kings had 10 more defensive rebounds, 10 more total rebounds than the Grizzlies. And they also had 8 more assists, 3 more blocks. The Grizzlies, interesting stat, they had 13 steals on the night. The Kings had 7. Points in the paint about even, 48-50. Eye test. Yeah, eye test. Eye test. Eye test. I'm going to give the Kings an eye test. The Kings did decent on offense. They had 5 guys in double figures. They did let the Grizzlies get back into the game in that fourth quarter, which was a little concerning, especially considering the Grizzlies were missing so many people. But you know, it was another game where they showed they were able to show some intensity at the end, tie the game up, send it to overtime, and finish it out in overtime. So these moments are good as experiences for them. So use it as a blueprint in the future. It was good to see Keegan Murray out there hitting shots. He had 15 points on the night. Harrison Barnes was helping out there a little bit. He had 11 points. He got 5 rebounds, which was good. And Keon Ellis, it was good to see Keon Ellis fill in for Kevin Huerter. So he didn't score like a ton of points. He got about the amount of points Kevin Huerter has been getting, but the defense was a lot better than Kevin Huerter's defense. So that helped out at the end of the game. And Malik Monk, he's just out there doing his thing. He's always thriving in pressure situations, and at the end of the games, I don't know. I mean, he plays just as many minutes as the starter, which is probably makes him okay with the situation. But I don't know. At this point, I think Malik Monk should be starting. Malik Monk should be our starting 2 guard. I mean, why not? I mean, bring one of these other guys off the bench as the 6th man. Keon Ellis could be the 6th man. I mean, Malik Monk gets starter minutes anyway, so I don't know if it really matters, and he's always playing at the end of the game like a starter. But I'm just saying, though, I mean, why can't he start? Maybe we'll have a better boost of offense in the beginning of games rather than waiting until he gets into the game. And then that's when we start pulling away and our offense starts looking really good. But I don't know. I mean, I guess it's working for now, but I really think Malik Monk has made a claim that he should be the starting 2 guard. But anyway, that's my eye test. Bottom line, the Kings morning after. Bottom line. Today's bottom line is, my bottom line is, even though this game was close and was kind of back and forth, a very uncomfortable game, especially because they didn't have their starters and a lot of their superstars. So it just makes me wonder, if they did have them, how would this game have gone? I mean, I guess I don't really want to know. I don't want to know, and I don't really care. The Kings got this victory, and they pulled it out, so great. And I think playing close games like this and pulling them out in overtime helps the Kings more than it hurts the Kings, even though it's like a nail-biter for us and the fans. I feel like they're learning. They're getting experience. They're learning how to win these games, especially the younger guys. They're They're learning how to play against Western Conference rivals and contenders, and they're learning how to close out games. So this little spurt of games they're in right now is kind of an easier set of games, but they have some harder games coming up. Use this as a blueprint. I mean, you know you need to play defense at the end of games to close them out. You got to find that intestinal fortitude to do that and not put yourself in situations where a young team like this is coming back on you and tying the games and coming back and going over you at the end of games. It's just not good. It doesn't bode well for a playoff contending team. But the Kings just need to go ahead and move forward, blueprint this game, remember it, stamp it in their memory, and move on to the next. Next up, the Kings have Toronto in Toronto. The Sacramento Kings will be in Toronto playing the Raptors Wednesday, March 20th, tomorrow, 4:30 our time, Pacific time. Be there or be square, and subscribe to the channel so you can see my review on the next day. So next up, the Kings have the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors are led by RJ Barrett, Bradley Dick, Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickley, Bruce Brown Jr., Dennis Schroeder. This team has been gutted. They traded away all their stars and all their best players. And now this is what they have left. Even though it's an away game, the Kings are a way better team than this team. This is not a team the Kings should lose to. This team is basically tanking at this point and trying to get the best pick they can at this point. There's no way, no how the Kings should lose to this team. Now, you hear me saying that, but we have seen how this team plays down to the level of competition. So they cannot go in the game lackadaisical, thinking it's going to be a cakewalk. They need to go in the game seriously, like professionals, like workmen, and go in there and dominate a team like this. I was hoping for a little bit more domination in the game against the Grizzlies, but this is just another team that the Kings really need to make sure they close out the game against and beat. This is not a good team by any stretch of the imagination. They're basically in tank mode. And for the next few games, the Kings really honestly have a pretty easy schedule. 3 games are away. They have Toronto on Wednesday. They play a back-to-back in Washington on Thursday. And we all know Washington is not good. And they also play Orlando on Saturday. Even though Orlando is probably going to be the hardest matchup because they're actually Orlando Magic is actually 5th ranked in the Eastern Conference. So that's not going to be an easy game for the Kings. Washington Wizards are dead last in 15th place. And as we just talked about, the Raptors are in 12th place. So these are some bottom feeders here that the Kings really need to beat. Orlando's going to be the hardest out of the bunch. But, I mean, that's a young team. The Kings should beat the Orlando Magic. So it's going to be interesting to watch these next few games coming up. As we know, the Kings are fighting for their standing in the Western Conference. So they got to come out, be professional, and be workmen and go out and beat these teams they're supposed to beat. Betting line. There's no betting line for the Kings tonight because the game isn't until tomorrow, so they'll put those out tomorrow after midnight. But if you want to do some sports betting, use the site that I use Bet Us. There's a link in the description below. Okay, I got a question for you guys. If you're watching still, please answer the question. Make a comment below. Comments also help the channel. What do you guys think about Malik Monk starting? I think he should be a starter at this point. I think he's really proven himself. I mean, I love the dynamic of him coming off the bench as 6-man, but he's a starter. Let him start. Let him cook in the beginning of the games. Leave a comment below. What do you think? Should Malik Monk be starting? And also, guys, please, if you're still watching, like the video. Like the video. If you're still watching, there's obviously something you like. There must be something entertaining. I must have gave some pretty decent knowledge or something. So go ahead and like the video for me. It's going to help my channel, and it will also kick the algorithm's ass. And if you like the Kings, Sacramento Kings, or like Sacramento Kings News, Sacramento Kings Talking Sacramento Kings, subscribe to the channel. We're also going to do some more fun stuff, live games and some live chat and stuff like that. So you're going to want to be part of that. Go ahead and click subscribe wherever that button is, and it also help me out and help the channel out and help the channel grow. And share the content. I'd appreciate it. How am I doing? Do you guys think I'm doing okay? If so, share the content somewhere. Be like, hey, look at this Kings guy. He's trying to get some subscribers. Subscribe. Or you can say, I'm trash. I don't care. just share the content and make a comment. It helps the channel as well. I appreciate it. Thanks. I have a motivational quote for you guys today. Doing some good old research on Google. I like this quote. It makes a lot of sense to me. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Excellent quote. And that quote is by George Bernard Shaw. Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. Excellent quote. We're always constantly creating ourselves, right? We're always trying to learn more, achieve more, shoot for our goals, be more consistent, be better, right? So you're not trying to find yourself, create yourself. And that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. I really appreciate you joining me, and if you're still watching, I really appreciate you watching. I know this was a quick video today. I didn't go too crazy. I didn't talk too much to you guys today. I didn't over talk, so I didn't talk your ears off today, but there was still some good information and some good analysis in there. So hey, please subscribe, check out my video the day after the next game. And as always, I appreciate you joining me on the latest episode of the King's Morning After Midday Cup of Joe with Jay. Oh yeah, that's good. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys next video, and I'm out. But before you go, check out my move. It's good.